We can talk about movies in a second. I got this beautiful card from a client the other day.
Snowflake, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, snowflakes. You know the problem with the card, though? You know what makes up all little snowflakes?
Dollar bills.
Starts with a G and ends with the word litter.
Oh,
I hate cards that have glitter because right now on my fingers are more pieces of glitter, and I will inevitably touch my face and then have glitter on my face all evening. I
yeah.
hate glitter.
Would like just one quick announcement here. Mr. and Mrs. Klein, whoever sent that, Brett really wants to extend his gratitude and appreciation for the Christmas card you've sent. But yeah, glitter is a little problematic for our little boy
Is it
Brett over
just
here.
me or is this like a universal thing?
Glitter is annoying in a house. I don't care if it ends up on my desk in the office.
No, the desk is fine. It's when it ends on my face or my body that I get upset about.
I wow. Okay, that's fine, man.
It's
Is this yeah, let's not opine on whether or not you like the client. This is just the card
it's just
itself.
a card. Yeah, like I like cards. Cards are great, especially handwritten cards. They're fantastic.
Mm. Okay, no glitter. Noted.
You can take all of my glitter cards, or at least maybe put like a warning on the outside. Card may contain glitter, so that you
Yeah.
know, like when you open up, be very, very careful so the glitter doesn't fall out and get all over your body and your hands and your clothes. It's still there
No. Yeah, I'm gonna get you more glitter stuff to be honest with you now that I know this, but
in both
look
hands
at you.
now.
That's so funny. Let me ask you this.
I think you would like that, given that you hate the marshmallow thing. This is like worse than the marshmallow thing because it's so hard to get off. It's
What the
everywhere.
marshmallow thing is simply that I believe marshmallows are overrated generally, and then unless perfectly prepared, a s'more is not worth the mess it creates.
Right, because you don't like the mess. This is the mess.
Yeah, but sticky fingers are not glitter fingers.
No, it's not quite as bad, but it's annoying.
Is this going to impact your performance on today's episode?
Could
Because
be.
welcome to episode 49 of Talk Your Chart. Marco Segura here with Brett Horowitz. Today is January 4th, 2024. Happy New Year to you, listener. Happy New Year to you, Brett. BH, today we are excited because today is our predictions episode. We did the first predictions episode in 2023. We didn't do it in 22, right?
I think we did another Dogs in the Dow, but I don't think we did a full episode of 9 different predictions. So this is the first time I think we've done a full gamut of everything that anyone would want to know before the year started.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we did the dogs before because that was the Verizon JP Morgan year, and I think you won. Anyway, okay, so let's kick it off with the results of our predictions from 2023, and work our way through those with our upcoming predictions. First of all, I'd like to congratulate our very own Brett Horowitz. Oh, what a surprise. You had no idea, did you? You won, BH. Out of the 9 predictions, you and I got one wrong together, and then you got 5 correct of those 9, and I got 3 correct of those 9.
I'd like to thank the good people that helped bring me into this world for giving me the ability to see into the future. I made no money off these predictions, but maybe I should if this is going to be a thing.
Yeah, you should have put money on all of it, and you would have won money.
Quit my day job and just get out there on CNBC and make predictions.
Yep. I think it's all the research and diligence that we do going into the predictions, given we spend about 1 to 2 minutes preparing for these predictions.
I think that's what most people spend on TV, right? It's par for the course.
Good. It's fun. It's always a fun intellectual exercise that ends up with me always feeling like, man, this is such a waste of time, but it's fun to do it together.
It is, and the awkward thing is that even though maybe I got more right, some of them that I got wrong, I got way wrong. And others, if we had stopped halfway through the year, would have been wrong as well. So I guess
Yeah.
there's maybe a
Okay,
little bit
good.
of luck to that. A lot of skill, but a little bit of luck.
Yeah. Do you want to kick us off with the first prediction of last year?
So prediction number one for 2023 was our Dogs of the Dow prediction. In that episode, you had picked Intel, I picked Cisco, And according to the numbers we have here, which could be a typo, but I'll go with the numbers that you have and the chart that you have. Intel was up 90% in 2023, and Cisco was up 6%. Ouch.
Wow. That's incredible. That's how you blow it. I love that. I
I
love
don't know
that.
what happened, but I have my new prediction ready. But
Yeah.
I think you won last year. You get the first dib in which dog of the Dow, and maybe you want to give all the Dow, all the dogs to the people so they know what the options are.
Yeah, so here we'll put up a chart there. These will be all the dogs going into 2024. As a reminder, the way the dogs work is you basically see who's yielding the most across the 30 stocks that comprise the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Functionally seeing how much the yield is kind of inversely correlated to the price, right? So it's like who's got to beat up the most. Um, and right now, as you're looking at this list, Walgreens sits at the top of it. And with my first pick overall, I'm going to take Walgreens for 2024.
Okay. Anything else behind it besides that? Any special sauce that you want to talk about?
The special sauce was that Walgreens was down 25% last year,
Oh,
and the Dow was up 16. And I'm going to go for a little inversion and reversion, I should say, reversion to the mean in
okay.
2024.
I'm gonna pick Coca-Cola as my dog of the Dow. Why? I read an article just a few days ago that brands like Coca-Cola at one point had hundreds of different varieties and SKUs. And for some reason, or not for some reason, but after the pandemic, a lot of companies started reducing the number of SKUs and options they had and realized it wasn't affecting the brand, that most people actually picked many of the same varieties. And Coca-Cola got rid of a lot of their SKUs. So I think it's going to make them lean and mean. I think Coca-Cola's going to take it this year.
Wow, down with the SKUs, up with the Coke. Very nice. Bret Horst, very nice. A little nod to Warren Buffett and the late Charlie Munger. Just for reference, Coca-Cola was down 4.5% last year. Another fun little tidbit, the Dow, as I mentioned, earned 16% last year. Only one other company in the dogs beat it last year. So index wins again. Okay, I have Walgreens. You have Coke. Are you writing these? Are you typing these or I'm just writing them?
Yeah, we'll both put them in.
Golden. All right, I will take the next one that I got wrong unless I didn't, because this could technically be information that comes out after the fact. But all signs point to the recession in the US not happening in 2023. When's it going to happen, BH? I have no idea. You picked no for last year. I picked yes. So you won that one. I lost it. All the economic signs are pointing to slowing growth, but nothing falling off a cliff. Let's all remember that number one leading indicator to a US recession is the stock market. And in the last, since I think 1945, every single recession has basically been preceded by a falling stock market first, except for the tech bubble. That was the one outlier. And that hasn't happened just yet. So maybe that's what's happening this year. Who knows? But now predictions for the recession happening in 2024.
I'm going to stick with my no for 2024. I think the Fed can do it. We know that oftentimes a inverted yield curve leads to a recession, but I still think there's enough juice to the economy to skirt us by one. I think that everything the Fed is doing has gone perfectly according to playbook. They've got inflation down. It's coming down in the last, I think, 6 months. It was down to like under 2%. Jobs are still solid, even though they're coming down. And so I think they're going to continue this and have just a nice solid 2024, no recession.
Yeah, so real personal income, less transfers, up 1.5% over the last 6 months. Non-farm payroll up 0.7% over the last 6 months. Employment up 0.8% over the last 6 months. Consumer spending up 1.4% over the last 6 months. Wholesale sales and retail sales up 2.1% over the last 6 months. Industrial production down a smidge, down 0.3%. All that shows a little slow off what we were, but It's not going anywhere. I'm unfortunately going to agree and say no recession in 2024.
After hearing for months and months and months how I would be wrong, you're now going from we're having it to we're not having it.
Yep. I said
Wow.
we're not going to have 24. And that probably means we will, but oh, he's not there anymore. But that used to be Jerome Powell. Now it's Dan Aykroyd and oh my gosh, what's the other actor in Trading
Eddie
Places?
Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, my good friends from Trading Places. But Jerry Powell, I'll go on the record. If we were like a whole setup, we'd put in a clip of us talking crap about Jerry Powell at some point in time. Don't give me that face, glitter hands. That's absolutely something you said. Too fast, too strong. Anyway, right now Jerry's sitting pretty in a cool throne, and they could well be on their way to doing this stupidly named soft landing thing. Again, why is that? Why do I say it's silly? Because the economy never lands. It's a cycle. It's always going. So anyways, I'll say no for 24.
Okay.
We
Right
might have
now,
to pick something else. It's boring to be on the same side of the trade there. We might have to pick something else, but to be determined.
right now he is my hero, Mr. Jerry, because in what was it, November, early November, he talked about rates being done and cutting rates next year. We had a nice fat Santa Claus rally towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I hated him for doing that actually. I think the markets got ahead of themselves. I'd say between now and June, let's see markets down 10%, and then the rally through second half of the year.
Okay, well, we're only doing end of year, so we're not doing a mid-year scorecard.
Fine. All right, next. We
Next,
have
US versus foreign stocks. We both got that one wrong. US, we both picked foreign stocks after the US had dominated for over a decade. Basically, US last year was up 26%, foreign stocks were up 19%, just about. For 2024, I'm going to go with US again. I think Europe is still in weaker shape given what's happening with all the fighting over there. They're still not producing as many technology companies as we are. They still have a lot of issues going on with the weather, with gas. And I just think the US has got their game together. So I wish I could go on the foreign train, but I'm gonna have to stick with the US.
That's fine. I was just gonna do whatever you didn't do, so I'm going international.
That's a very strong conviction there, Marcos. I like it.
Yeah, I'm convicted to you being wrong and me being right, my friend. So there you go. That's what I'm
Just
taking.
because.
I only chance for me to do it is if I take the other side, so I'm taking it.
Okay. 10-year rate.
10-year. Oof, this one was a tight one. The 10-year, you said 3.75%. I said 3.25%, which kind of played off my recession call. It ended the year at 3.9%.
Even that within itself was crazy because 2 months earlier it was at 5%, which meant we were way off. But
Yeah,
it came back down.
the volatility that the 10-year had last year was historic, a little bit comical at times, and we weathered it. And if we now have seen rates peak for this cycle, let's all consider ourselves lucky. We're healthy. The Fed funds rate of 4.25 to 5.5, while restrictive, is not, again, according to our friends at the Fed, not outlandishly high. And they're hoping to normalize that to what, maybe 4.25, 5 over the next several months. Who knows? And if that happens, great. And a recession doesn't necessarily have to come out of it. So my prediction for the 10-year at the end of this year, 3.5%.
Interesting. I also wrote 3.5. I'm going to change mine.
Damn right you are.
I think that, well, look, there's a big discussion now as to whether the market is going to be right in thinking 5 to 6 rate cuts, or the Fed is going to be right in saying 3 rate cuts. Everyone's going to be really unhappy if the Fed only does 3 rate cuts because they all want rates to come even further down. I think for a lot of people, we want rates to stay at a decent level. We don't want to go back to the 2s and 3s that we used to have. So I'm going to even go a little bit higher and say 3.7, because I just don't think the market's going to react and the Fed's going to react as fast as we all think. I think something's going to cause them to slow down. If there's no recession, there's no need to cut them as fast because they want to use that powder for when the recession comes. So I'll go with 3.7. Is that far enough away from 3.5?
It is. I almost said 3.9 as like it wasn't going to move because I think we got so ahead of ourselves at the toward the end of last year that they might not even have to move. And if they cut, it still may not move that much because the
Right,
market did so much moving for it already.
right. Agreed.
So my 3.5 is simply because we get more economic weakness towards the end of the year than what we're currently seeing. That's all.
Okay.
Damn. Three, you said
On
3.7?
3.7.
Are
On
you
to
writing this down? Because I'm not. I'm not.
yeah.
Okay, good.
On to Bitcoin, which I got horribly wrong. I feel like my emotional feelings about Bitcoin are getting in the way. It's clouding my judgment a little bit.
They are. I will tell you immediately that they are. I will
Bitcoin,
remind you, listener, that when we were talking about this offline before we started recording, Brett asked if he was allowed to make a prediction of zero.
yeah, that tells you that I'm probably not looking at this in a good frame of mind. But our predictions were 20,000 for me for Bitcoin. Marcos was 40,000, almost nailed it on the dot. It came out at 42,220 to end the year. So I think it started even under 20,000 when the year started. So it's been a huge rally for Bitcoin. There's now talking about Bitcoin ETFs. We've seen a lot more Bitcoin failures. It doesn't seem to affect the price. I'm gonna have to just say it goes up a little bit from here. I'm gonna go with the 46,000. Left a little bit less than a 10% gain. I have no idea why. I still don't understand why anyone's buying Bitcoin, but I guess I've got to say that it'll have some growth.
Apparently, what they've said now is that people who hold and own the Bitcoin don't sell the Bitcoin. Like no one's selling anymore. But but then how does it fall 45%? Is it like the algo traders and people like levering something? I have no idea. Just whenever something bad happens or crazy price action happens, leverage is usually the culprit. So I'll go ahead and just say leverage because I have no idea why it happens. Um, I nailed the prediction. My wife questioned me when I mortgaged our home to buy Bitcoin at the beginning of last year. And I'm just kidding. I absolutely did not do that. I'm going to say 55,000. A normal little jump in price, nothing too crazy. No vol. We're going to low vol this year because I think the Bitcoin ETF, let's say it launches or doesn't launch, it'll be a big old nothing burger because it's already gotten priced in all this noise. So 55K.
I'll make one more comment, which is this is why the youth of today look at the stock market making 10%. They're just like, that's per year? That's like per week. Because you see these gigantic rallies of up 80% and up 60% and down 40%. They're like, that's normal. Like, that's not normal. And I don't want to encourage people to think that making, what is that, 25% in a year on Bitcoin is like a typical thing.
I mean, it is right now. Like, who's to say, like, when you say it's not normal, that's not normal for the S&P 500, but it's normal for Bitcoin.
Let's all look up tulips and let's think about what happened with tulips. Just look
All right, Mr. Historian.
at
Jeez, get off my lawn, he says.
Okay.
Hey,
I got good company.
I'm not saying put mortgage your house or throw all the 401k assets at it, but
I
it's
will take
there.
I will take Warren Buffett and his anti-Bitcoin, and you can take SVF and his Bitcoin philosophy.
Did you just, I'm here just trying to make a little case that it's not completely ridiculous to own a little bit of Bitcoin if you like, in a very measured percentage of your overall balance sheet. And you just called me Sam Bankman-Fried for that?
Well, you're on his camp.
Are you kidding? That's where you talk about jumping the shark, buddy.
Look, we'll hug it out later. Let's move on to the next prediction.
Jesus. Wait, what was you wrote the price targets down, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Inflation. That's you.
Headline. Headline inflation. I was predicting 3.2%. You were predicting 3.4%. Both of us thought inflation would come down quite quickly, which it did. We were right on that camp. It was what, 8% plus, 9% come April, February, March, April, somewhere in that
Yeah.
range. Came down. End of the year at 3.1. So I squeaked a win there. What do you think for 2024, Marcos?
I think inflation's going to be at 3.1% at the end of the year.
Wow. Sticky, huh? Is that what you're saying?
I think it's going to be a little stickier. I either had 2.9 or just leaving it the same. I didn't want to do 3.0.
Okay.
Yep.
I think it come down a little bit. I'm going with 2.8.
Okay.
So I think the Fed has made
You
some
know what?
comments.
I'm gonna go 2.9. I'm gonna leave it at 2.9.
Okay. I think the
Yeah.
Fed has made some comments that like the last mile of inflation could be hard to get under control, but I'm not sure I believe them because they also said that this would take a long time and it didn't take a long time. So I'm not sure that they see anything more than what we see. So,
No, they don't. And if you look at, here's the other problem. You look at their summary of economic predictions. Now, this is PCE, right? And core PCE. They had core PCE at 3.2 at the end of 23, and they have a 2.4 in 2024. They were a little off, a little high. So they got even better than what they wanted, right? It was really 3.1, or I'm sorry, it was a little under 3.1 because the PCE is lower than the CPI. But I just don't trust it. So if you play off their 2.4 that they're expecting in PCE at the end of this year, I'm fine with 2.9.
okay.
I'm fine with
Either one would be a win, right? If it gets the either one of those figures, we'll be happy.
that. Yeah. Okay, fair. Asset class of the year. I like this one. This one feels wholesome. Um, where are you? Asset class of the year. Okay, so asset class of the year. It was US large cap, Brett, and one of us picked that, and it was you. I picked emerging market equity. That did not happen. Um, this year, who do you got?
I am going to double up my prediction and say US large cap equity again. Why? Because I believe if the economy slows down, as everyone thinks it will, because obviously we all know this is going to happen. This is kind of like a book. You already know the ending. It's going to happen. Everyone says it's going to happen, so it must happen. When that does happen, I don't want to own the small companies where they're really risky. I don't want to own emerging markets that are risky. I already said I don't like international. I don't want to own value companies which are more risky. I'm going to go with the US large cap. Or it might go growth, but I'll just stick with the US large cap if I can't, can I choose not to say growth or value? I could just say US large cap.
US large cap, yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're using the asset class little mosaic here from JPM. What I want to say is technically not on here, but I want TLT. I want long government bonds, but that's not on here, so I won't use it. Um, I'm gonna go. I really want to add long bonds here, but I won't. I'm gonna go small caps, US small caps.
Any reason why?
US small caps. I'm gonna go with if a recession comes, it's a shallow one, and smalls recover way harder and greater magnitude than their friends. They are lagging from '09 to the end of 23. They're lagging large cap US by about 3 percentage points. And over long periods of time, you usually find that small caps outpace large. So I'll let this be the year when that finally shows up.
Okay. We shall see. Two left. We got S&P, which I am so thankful that you were close on that one because I look like a doom and gloomer compared to you.
Yeah, let the people know.
4,200 was my prediction on the S&P. You were at 4,700, and that even exceeded your expectations because it ended up being at 4,770. Great job, Marcos. I'm going to
Incredible.
write this down, your prediction, because you were so accurate.
Yeah, it was like kind of scary accurate, right? It's because it's incredible how little like the foundational knowledge into that guess was. It was so funny.
Okay, I want some another optimism, more optimism here.
Oh, are you going first or am I going first?
No, I picked first last time on the.
All right, on the S&P, so here's what I'll tell you. Since 1950, the median gain after the S&P makes 20% in a year, it's 12.1%. I'm going to go 13. So I'm going to say 53.90 on the S&P at the end of the year.
Wow. I wish the viewers could see this. I wrote down 5,400 on mine. But here's what I'm thinking though. We had 2022 where the S&P was down. What did it finish down? Like 18 or something like that?
In 22,
Yeah,
it was down 18. Yep.
18. In 2023 was up 25, 26, somewhere in that range.
26, yep.
All right. So there two of them are basically offsetting each other because when you lose 18, you have to make more than 18 to make it up to even. So on these 2 years alone, we're below the S&P's normal 10% return because you barely picked up anything. So I'm hoping that in order to get its average a 10% return for a 3-year period, when the first 2 years gave you, only a couple percent, we can have a big number on the third year. So I'm going to take the over on the 5,400. I'll go 5,500 and over.
Wow. Okay. So you could have just priced it right at me, but you're not. So does that mean that it's purgatory in between
I mean, I think we're both
54.99
in
and
that
53.90?
Yeah, we both get it right if we're close to that. I'm going to go way
Mm.
above that. I can go way above that, but I don't want to.
Okay, so you're going 5,500. I went 53.90.
Yep.
I'm going 30% gain. Okay, I can roll that. Last one, unemployment. It ended the year at 3.7%. I guess 4.2. You guess 3.9. I'm going 4.2 again.
When you didn't get the first one right, do it again, right? Okay.
Double down.
I'm going to go surprisingly a higher 4.4.
Okay.
I feel like we've seen the job market start to slow. The immigrants are going to come into the country this year to help. How people are going to stay in the wage force versus stay in school or do other things or not work.
Okay.
Versus people retiring and passing away. So I'm going to go with the higher 4.4.
Higher 4.4. That's fine. Doesn't mean recession. One allowed. Got to watch the Sam rule. More about the Sam rule next episode.
Sam Bankman-Fried, your camp?
No, Brett, not your personal hero, SBF. Sorry, buddy.
Got it.
Go
Well,
get
we
some
shall
glitter.
see. This was an exciting episode. We just need to remind the viewers that I was right 5 times. Mark was right 3 times. But he has a chance to catch up this year. Is this going to be a cumulative thing or this is just a year-by-year thing?
You have to definitely make a spreadsheet that keeps track of this whole thing. We should definitely have that forever.
Well, this will be an exciting episode to take a look at next year. And then coming up, next episode, people, get ready. Episode 50, coffee and a 5K.
Whoa.
Oh, no,
Coffee
1 mile.
and a 1 mile run.
1 mile.
You kidding me? You trying to do
Trying
that
to
to
get
me?
you to fall for that one.
No way. 1 mile's enough. Oh. Everyone wants a coffee, dude. The 1 mile is just because I had to do something.
Okay.
Coffee time. Episode 50. I can't believe we made it to 50.
Thank God. Thank you, viewers, for watching us.